Okay, very good afternoon to all my dear students. Today the topic of our lecture is economic order quality. It is the fifth lecture of engineering economics and industrial management. In this very lecture, we'll be discussing about the various economic issues and how to maintain the quality in terms of economic or in terms of economics. So let's start with this lecture now. When we come across this economic order quality, we usually discover that the various parameters like economics, the quality, they are in parallel with each other. When we want to attain quality, we need to spend more. We need to spend more in order to maintain the quality of the products or to maintain the uh, raw material should be very good. The this kind of stitching which you are providing for the clothing factories or with the garmenting technology that should be very nice, and of course the fabric which you're using should also be very good. So in such a way, whenever we talk about other manufacturing industries or any of the industries or any of the factories which are working for any of the manufacturing process, that they need to ensure the quality of the product in terms of economics also. So let's start with this topic now. The term inventory include the material, that is a raw material in progress, finished and packaging, spares and other stock in order to meet an unexpected demand or distribution in the. So whenever we talk about the term inventory, we need to talk about that what are the various materials which are required in our manufacturing process? What are the various raw materials which are required for the manufacturing industry, or the materials which are in progress, the raw materials which are in progress for this manufacturing industry, or the finished goods? One is the exact raw material, one is the material which is in progress of finishing. It is in a shape of getting a defined shape of a complete project or a complete product. So that is another issue. The third one is when we talk about the finished products. Finished means when which are complete in all ends. So that is then we are after finishing, what is the packaging cost, what is the amount of packaging that we require for the selling of a product or for transporting a product to the retailers. Then the spare parts, spares, any other like for this garments. When we purchase shirts, sometimes they give us one or two spare buttons with us with a shirt, so that when the one or two buttons get displaced, they can be placed with the new one. So spare parts also they are provided, and other stock in order to meet an unexpected demand or distributed in the future. So this is a kind of a process which is to be met whenever we talk about inventory management, or when we talk about the kind of industry management. We talk about the inventory first. Inventory is a list of articles which are actually present with us in our factory or in our industry. So one is when we talk about the raw materials, what is the kind of raw materials that we are having. In progress. In progress means what is the in progress in when the raw material is in a shape of getting the product finishing up. What are the actual things that we may require that moment of time? That should also be there with us. And after finishing the packaging material, the spare parts, if something goes wrong at some time, then we should have a kind of spare parts also with us so that we can repair them at the moment only. So we don't need to give some extra time to get it repaired, so we need to repair at the same time. So in that case also we are having some kind of inventory should always be there with us, so that we don't get any kind of a delay in our packaging or in our order finishing up, so that we can have or we can meet the unexpected demand. Unexpected demand, when the sudden demands of any order, they can also be met, and the distribution in future, distribution of those products in future also be very. That is another aspect. Then we have the inventory cost. Inventory cost mainly include this parameter, that's the ordering cost, the carrying cost, the capital cost, the store space cost, inventory service cost, inventory risk cost. These are the various costs which are actually involved when we talk about the various inventory items. That is ordering cost, carrying cost, capital cost, store space cost. What is the amount of order and what is the amount of money which we are spending in order to get the various amount of orders. Carrying cost means what are the various carriage issues, or the carriage cost which is getting to make the products, finished products, lie to the destined points. What is the amount of carrying cost that we are paying for that? Capital cost, is the actual cost which are spending on the product. Store space cost. Store space cost means what is the amount of cost which we are paying for the store in which we are keeping our product. Store space cost. Inventory service cost. What is the amount of inventory, or what is the amount of, you know, kind of servicing cost which we are paying for our products which we are getting. Inventory risk cost. Risk amount. If anything gets damaged, what is the amount of new product which we are giving for them? What is the new product list that we provide them? That is a various is a six amount of things which we are actually expecting and which we are actually ordering them, which include the cost, various amount of cost, all of these factors. Then we have the inventory management. Inventory management, how to manage the inventory items. Inventory management involves the development and administration of policies, systems, and procedures which will minimize the total cost related to inventory decisions and related functions such as production, scheduling, purchasing, and traffic. That is basically involving the development and administration policies which are a system about, and the procedures which are actually involved to minimize the total cost related to inventory decisions and related to functions such as production, scheduling, purchasing, and traffic. What is the biggest amount of costs which are involved in it, and how to administer, how to develop such kind of policies so that we can have, or we can give the minimum amount of cost in all of these. That is a management. Management includes the right decisions at right time. What are the right decisions which are taken by the management issues of the management people in order to maintain the certain kind of inventory decisions and to maintain the healthy cost for all of these factors. So this, then we have the economic order quality. Now then comes, because inventory basically includes the kind of economics which is being handled by these issues. So economic order quality is one of the technique of inventory control which minimizes the total holding and ordering cost for them. This basically includes the techniques of inventory control. How can we control our inventory which minimizes the total holding and ordering cost for the year? What is the total ordering cost which we are paying for a year? That includes all of these factors. So economic order quantity is one of the techniques of inventory control. So we can control the amount of ordering and amount of holdings which we are proceeding for each year. Economic order quantity is a technique which solves the problems of materials and management. So it is basically the it's a technique which solves the problems of material management. Like we have kind of Suppose we are having, let us take analogy in this case, let's have an example for the garment industry. So I need to manufacture shirts, brand shirts. And what are the various factors that I can take into accountability before making my orders? The first thing is that what kind of a raw material I'm using for shirts. Second thing is, do I am trying to make the formal shirts or I'm trying to make the casual shirts? What is the kind of colors which I'm choosing for shirts? And the third factor which should be in consideration while talking about the economic quality. Okay. And what kind of stitching and what kind of sizes I manufacture for the shirts? Are some of the factors which are taken into consideration before manufacturing any of the products in the factory or in the industry. So first of all, I should know about my raw material. What kind of raw material do I have? And is that raw material capable to uh, satisfy the needs of the customers that are lining the market? Suppose I'm having a silky fabric, I'm having a satin fabric with me. But is my satin fabric capable to cater the needs of the customers? Do my customer or will my customers purchase those satin shirts? Was it's a less probability of purchasing such kind of customers. Customers normally prefer the cotton shirts because they are graceful plus they are easy to wear. So that is the thing that is depends on the usage. What kind of material which we have and what kind of order we are preparing for what kind of people. What kind of people they want. Suppose I am manufacturing the products for the people who are in a gentry time and who are willing to purchase and they purchase normally the shirts which are cotton based fabric, cotton based fabric. When they go to buy the synthetic or certain shirts. So before manufacturing any of the products, we should always, and the skillist should always have in mind that what is the needs of my customer and will I be able to cater the needs by my products. Because the selling of products actually depend upon the product customer demand. What kind of customers demand for the products. It is one of the factors. It can be any other product like that. So it is always dependent upon money which we are spending and what is the content of things that people may like or that actually depends upon that. So it is very important when we talk about all of these factors in such a way that are they being catered by the people who are actually going to hear those or who actually buy those shows. That should be in our mind before making any of the decisions for the problem. So next in this case, economic order quality. Economic order quality is essentially an accounting formula that determines at which the combination of order, cost, and inventory carrying cost are the least. This is a basically accounting formula that determines which kind of combination we're using for the order, what kind of a cost I'm spending on that, and inventory carrying cost at the least, and what kind of inventory which we are spending on cost which are the least. This is what they are doing. So this is what we are actually I know need for the cost and inventory carry cost. So this is what we are actually uh, demanding for the common quality. The result is the most cost effective quality to order in purchasing. This is known as order quantity or in manufacturing, it is known as a product in lot size. What kind of result which we are producing from effective quality? If I'm giving good quality of my products, what kind of results do I have? Is it in purchasing point of view? Yes, they will be. If I'm giving good quality products, then obviously my selling would increase. The people will recommend my brand to other people also because they have used it and they have seen that this company, this so and so company, produces a certain quality products which are very much in need and obviously at the same price as the other company. So the people compare two things. One is the quality, one is the price. What is the amount of price that you're offering for the product? And what is the amount of quality that you are providing to them? If the price and quality they go in hand, if the price and quality they go in hand with each other, that means if I'm giving a good quality and the price is also genuine, it's not very high, then people will obviously demand for my products. And if my quality is good, but at the same time the price is also very high, then what will happen? Then my sales will be there, but that will affect my sales. Why it will affect my sales? Because the normal average people will not prefer my product because of the high prices. They know that I give them the quality, but the prices are so high that they are not able to buy it. It is not in their affordable range. So that will hamper my selling also. So while we are designing all of these parameters, which is a consideration that we should have all of these factors into mind while manufacturing those products. Then only we can have a proper economic order quality. Then the economic order quality demand. Demand is known as its deterministic, it is constant. The lead time, the time between the placement of the order and the receipt of the order is known and constant. The lead time is the time behavior between the placement of the order and the receipt of the order is known and constant. How much time we are spending for the placement of the order and receipt. What is the amount of receipt that we're getting in return of the order is known as constant. Demand is always there and it's coming time by time. It's constant, it's not decreasing or increasing. The receipt of inventory is instantaneous. In other words, the inventory from an order arrives in one batch at one time, at one point in time. The receipt of inventory is also instantaneous. It can come right now or it can come after some time. In other words, the inventory from an order arrives in such a way, in such a batch at one point in one time. So that is the kind of inventory management. Okay. The quantity discounts are not possible. The quantity, amount of quantity which we're spending over there, and the quantity discounts are also not possible in that case. In other words, it does not make any difference how much we order. The price of the product will still be the same. Yes, this is one of the most important factors now. Quantity discounts are not possible. If I say that I purchase those 100 pens for 100 rupees, 100 pens purchasing of 100 rupees is a 100 pens is 100 rupees by a company, and the owner or the buyer says, okay, that if I will buy 200 pens, then will you give it to me by for 150 rupees? Then that will hamper the price issues. So it is when we are talking about economic order quality, when we need to balance our economic order, we should have this point in mind that discount are not on the product rate. How much order we place, that will not depend on that. The price will remain the same even we give order for 100 pence or we give for 1000 pence. The price is going to be same for all of us. So that will gain, yes, that's the most important factor which will maintain or which will balance your economic order quality. This that only cost pertinent to inventory model are the cost of placing an order and cost of holding or storing inventory over time. That is the only cost that is pertinent to inventory. It's the only cost that is used for inventory model and the cost of placing an order and cost of holding or storing inventory. What is the amount of cost of holding it or storing it over time? All those factors are actually depending upon this economic. So, first of all, in order to maintain the economic order quality for a longer time, the demand should be deterministic. Deterministic means it should be constant. It should not be like that. Today I'm getting order of 100 pens and tomorrow I will get order of 50 pens. No, it should not be like that. At least I should get the same amount of order for the complete year. Almost. It can be like that also. If I get 100 pence today, order for 100 pence today, and an order of 50 pence in the next order. And for the next order again, I'm getting an order of 200 pence. So that will compensate the previous losses also. So that in that kind of cases can be collaborated. But those cases in which we are not having any of the balance issues, it is decreasing with time. The orders are decreasing with time. In that cases, we can't say demand is deterministic. It is not deterministic. It is undeterministic. And it is decreasing with respect to time. The receipt of inventory is instantaneous. The receipt, it arrives at one point at one time. It is instantaneous. If I have placed my order, I have got my order on time, I will receive a receipt. Yes, the order has been placed and it has been received at a stipulated time, and you get the payment back. This kind of issues are quite possible when we talk about the industrialists. These are the actual issues which are coming across them. Secondly, the quantity discount, which I have discussed right now. The quantity discounts are not possible and they shouldn't be given in order to maintain the economic quality. These are some of the factors which are actually placing on, which are actually responsible for making the high quality product issues. The mathematical method of economic quality. What is a mathematical method for calculating the economic quality? The objective is to determine the quantity to order which minimize the total annual inventory management. The main objective over here is to what? Is determine the quantity in to order. What is the main objective of my order? That what is the quantity that we are getting in order? The quantity to order, which minimize the total annual inventory management. I should, what is the actual amount of or an average amount of orders which we are getting for manufacturing of the product. Because I should, this is my, because my investment is on inventory management. I need to buy the raw material, I need to buy the spare parts, I need to buy the packaging cost, I need to buy the labor cost, material cost. So these all costs which are to be bear by the industrialist or the management people of any industry. So it should be very much clear into my mind that this, if I am buying this much amount of raw material, that this much amount is more than sufficient for me to cater the needs of the orders which I'm going to get in the near future for my products. That is the main objective over here. I should be I should be very much clear that yes, this if I'm spending this much amount of money, then this much amount of money or this much amount of time, this much amount of material which I've purchased is sufficient for catering the needs of the orders which are going to come to me in the coming time. So that will minimize your inventory surplus thing. I should not buy that much amount of thing which is not even required to me, because that will only increase my investment, my amount of money that I'm investing into the raw material for the products. So I should always keep into mind that I should purchase or I should buy that only amount of things which are actually required. Minimize the total cost per period. I should need to minimize the total cost per period is equal to inventory holding cost per period plus the order cost per period. What is the total amount of cost per period? That is equal to the inventory holding cost per period plus the order cost per period. That is what is the amount of inventory which I'm holding with me for that period of time, and what is the actual order cost that I'm paying. Where order cost is equal to the number of order placed in the period X order cost, and the carrying cost is equal to what? Average inventory level X, the carrying cost of 1 unit of stock for one period. What is the amount of actual carrying cost that I'm paying for one stock for one period, and what is the actual order cost that I have been placed for the period X, the X period time? What is the actual amount of orders which we have placed for that? And what is the actual carrying cost for the average inventory which we are spending over here? That is one of the most crucial points when we talk about the economic order quality. So this is one of the major issues when we talk about these things like mathematical models and economic order quality. Now, the one thing that comes into mind when we talk about all of these issues, that thing is that what is the actual objective of generating such kind of mathematical methods for economic order? The basic issue or the basic purpose of generating such kind of economic order models or economic order quality is that so that to generate the things of best quality, first of all, we generate the products or we manufacture the products of best quality. They should be of best quality, first of all. The quality should not be compromised at any point. There should be no compromise in terms of quality, first of all. Second thing is, whatever we are purchasing or whatever a buyer is purchasing from us, that customer or that buyer should be completely satisfied with our services. Whether it's a on-time delivery, whether it's a quality of product, whether it's a price of the product. Because this is the three things, these are three things which are actually in demand as a customer. If I have placed an order for 100 pens or 100 pencils or 1000 pens and I'm not getting my order at a stipulated time by the manufacturer, then that will obviously hamper the reputation of that company, because at second time when he order the same quantity of pens or pencils, he will think twice that should I order to this company now or not, because the previous experience was not very good when in terms of delivery issues were there. So this is one of the quality measures which should be taken into consideration while making any of the orders in the future also. Then how to minimize my investment, how to minimize my total cost. That can be only minimized by keeping the things into minimum. I should always take into consideration that if the raw material is being purchased by my team, the raw material should be of good quality, but it should not be a very huge amount. It should not be very less so that I can't even cater the need of my, orders which I have got till now. I should complete my orders, but it should not be very high, or it should not be that much in consideration, or in that much in this quantity that it can cater the project or can cater the orders for 5 years. Why it is so? Because one thing is sometimes our inventory is consumables. They are expired after 1 year, after 6 months. In that case, that is a sheer wastage of my money, because it won't be any use for any other time then. Second thing is, if I talk about this garments or the clothing factories, if they will buy a certain amount of raw material for the this cloth for 5 years. Suppose we can say it can be it is getting a low cost product to me, and I will purchase the raw material for the clothing for 5 years and will cater my needs for 5 years. Then what is the drawback in this case is, first of all, I have invested a huge amount of money for it. Okay. Second point over here comes is the if it is not necessary, it is not necessary that this fabric is in demand for today. But after a year, maybe this fabric may not be demanded by the customers anymore. Because we know that the fashion industry is like this or fashion is like that. It goes on changing after a certain span of time. Then that kind of designs, that kind of clothing, that kind of raw material, the sheer wastage that won't be utilized by anymore, because if I will manufacture them also, then also it won't be purchased by the customers, because those will be considered as outdated clothes. Because the fashion has changed, the trends have changed. So that is another issue while we are manufacturing or while we are purchasing the things. Things inventory should be in a very whenever there is a purchase or whenever there is a inventory management points are there, it should always be in our mind that we should have that kind of things, that kind of material with us, which are actually required, and which can cater our needs also, or which can which can be utilized by the customers, and all of the orders which have been placed, they are delivered to the required customers on a stipulated period of time with a good quality, with a good pricing, and with a good profit of the purchase of this manufacturer also, because everyone is working or everyone is doing work for their own profit. And if someone is not getting that huge amount of profit out of it, then that is not a businessman. Should have a profit limit in between, but it should be in consideration that it can be sold also. It can be sold in the market also. It should be in consideration with all kind of customers. It will be bought by all kind of customers, and it is in consideration with each and every aspect of market. So that is what is most required when we talk about any concept or any of these issues when we're talking about perspectives. So that is all from my side. Thank you so much for patient listening, and hope you have enjoyed the lecture. And if you find any queries, you can contact me on the email ID. Thank you so much.